Yeah, what up, everyone?
Woo!
Woo woo! Welcome back to what's our show called? Beyond the Source Wall. Alex named it actually,
It's my choice, my terrible curse.
and we have an intro for that, and I'm going to play it right now.
Behold the Source Wall. Behind it is the single greatest secret of the universe. This is as far as I dare to go.
We're going further, though.
We're going
beyond.
Yes, and I had that. I always forget to take away the banners when I play videos. I'm still new at this, so Alex here and I started this show last week. We basically watch a DC animated movie on HBO Max because we're both fans of these movies, and there's some that Alex hasn't seen, and one of those that he hasn't seen we're actually going to watch today because I figured with Valentine's Day coming up, and this was my week to pick which movie we're going to watch. I was like, all right, we got to watch Batman: Mystery of the Batwoman because I feel like it's one of those animated films that went under the radar. It's tied into the Bruce Timm like Batman animated series from the 90s universe, so it's a part of that. But it takes place sometime after the series had ended, right around the time they started doing the new Batman show called The Batman. It was like right before that. So this is like early 2000s, like 2003.
Yeah, 2003. Yeah.
And this one's neat because there's actual mystery to this. Like it's not like the title isn't just like a generic title. Like there is a genuine like, okay, who is this new Batwoman? And they give you a lot of options in the movie. It's also, like I said, Valentine's Day is coming up, so I put Hawkman and Hawkgirl down there with our heads on them to celebrate. But
You're
also
my Valentine's seek.
Thanks. You're my eternal love that we keep getting reincarnated, and when we meet back up, the second we kiss, we both die.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like
so that's why we have.
What's the Will Smith one where he's a superhero?
Hancock
or Hitch, one of those two. It's like a combo of those.
Hitch is no, that's not Hitch is like a romantic comedy.
Exactly. We're a romance.
I see. Oh, you're okay. All right, fair enough.
A genre cross. In the Will Smith cinematic universe.
That's right. In the Willomatic universe.
The Willomatic.
The Smithverse. So that's what we do here. We just every week we're going to watch a different DC animated movie that we have access to on HBO Max, and we're going to talk during it, obviously. So anyone who comes in, I have the new banner up. It says hello to you. Tells you to like, share, and subscribe and comment. It doesn't say subscribe actually, so I guess you don't have to do that if you don't want to. I'll update it for next week. And we'll catch up on comments. We may not talk like we did last week where we hit every comment right away, but we'll try to be aware of that for anyone who's watching. But mainly it's just me and Alex talking, and that's going to be our focus. And you're not going to see any footage of the movies we're watching. We're obviously trying to be respectful to the filmmakers and everyone who works and owns these movies. So we're not going to show any footage. So what we suggest you do is either through your HBO Max setup or a Blu-ray or whatever version you have, digital version, just get the movie ready, get ready to hit play, and we'll let you know when that time is. We'll all hit play together, and we'll start watching it together. But before we get into that, actually, Alex, there is a new DC animated movie coming out in May. Actually, it's end of April. Yes, sir. They have one like every 3 or 4 months now. So
they do, because the last one was Soul of the Dragon, right?
Yeah, and finally, so real quick, give me your first impressions, because everyone knows my review because I put it up. I'd love just like a quick 2-minute or 1-minute review of it.
Of Soul of the Dragon? Man.
Or just your initial thoughts.
I thought it was kind of fun, but it wasn't one of my favorites. It was a little hokey. The whole snake god thing made me roll my eyes. Where like one guy like can't kill baby snake god Messiah, and it's just such a weird cast to assemble with the villain being like such a supernatural thing. Like Batman doesn't really, you would have think they would take on a crime syndicate or some like other like drugs in the city or something, but no, Batman and a bunch of martial artists are fighting a snake god.
Well,
Batman makes no sense in the movie. There's the whole movie. They're just like, oh, that's Bruce. He has a weird costume. We can't explain it, and it's.
I think that's the point of the movie, though. The point is not Batman's just a vehicle for those other characters.
That's true.
Those other characters never would have gotten their own movie if that movie didn't say Batman on it, which is a shame because even though they kind of race bend Richard Dragon, because in the comics Richard Dragon is very white, but they kind of
Dragon isn't a very Asian name.
Yeah, but in the movie they just basically make him Bruce Lee, which is fine. But they it was just a neat way, I think, to tell a story with those characters and do like a period piece. Because I'm sure a lot of these guys, like Sam Liu, who's directed that movie, he's done like 20 or 30 of these DC animated movies. Like I'm sure they're just like tired of Gotham crime stories. Like,
that's probably true. They're trying to just do different stuff, and you can kind of notice that in like the last ones. Like they did that Gotham by Gaslight.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right? Gaslamp, or is it? It's like the steampunk Batman, right?
Yes.
And that's kind of them breaking the genre a little bit. You are right. They're trying to break out of that Gotham sort of repetitive nature.
I think so. Nice. And then real quick, someone in the comments, hello there. Thank you, Daniel B. I appreciate that. So we will get to comments whenever, like he's just passing by. So we just want to say a quick hello. Well, speaking of animated movies in the Soul of the Dragon, there is a new one coming out, a new animated film. And this one is set more in the current. So after Apocalypse War, which you've seen, right? Apocalypse War?
Oh, yeah. Apocalypse War. I love Apocalypse War.
Yeah.
I think that's a great animated
DC movie. It's awesome for sure. And they that one kind of reset the universe. And now like that new 52 animated world is gone. And Superman Man of Tomorrow was the first in the new continuity. So they're starting to make movies using that animation style, which looks like very like Archer style, which is really cool.
The Man of Tomorrow. Okay. Yeah, I've seen that one as well.
So Warner Brothers is really cool. They sent me some images from the upcoming animated film, which is called Justice Society World War II. And I have some theories about this, but let me first show the images. And Alex, let me get your thoughts. First, we have Black Canary here.
Yeah, she's got a kind of 1940s haircut on her.
Yes, yeah, very much so. And she's, I think this is the Dinah Lance's mother's version. So like originally there was a Black Canary in World War II. And actually my friend Andy reminded me of this recently because I'm usually really good about DC continuity, but I completely forgot that there was a World War II Black Canary that wasn't the same modern day Black Canary. It was her mother. I actually
like a generational thing. I didn't know that.
No, and I completely forgot about that. And I was like, wow, that's right, that they forgot they did that. Because, you know, comic book characters don't age like normal people. So I just assumed it was the same Dinah Lance, but it's actually her mother. So that was cool to learn and be educated on something after years of, knowing DC stuff. But then we have a shot here of Steve Trevor. Of course, you got to have a Steve Trevor when you're going to do a story with Wonder Woman in it. So in World War II setting. So we have Wonder Woman here from the movie as well.
Oh, she looks really good.
Yeah, I like her design. It's actually the clean lines look really good in this style, and a lot of the DC characters look very iconic.
Yeah, I like that they kind of made her a little more like toned, you know?
Yeah, oh yeah. Yep.
I always like that in kind of Wonder Woman. I think it's very appropriate for the character.
I think so too. I agree. Let's see.
She's like an Amazon. That's what you kind of expect.
Exactly. So then we have a scene here where I guess they're going to fight a giant sea creature.
Yeah, it looks like some sort of like almost a kaiju kind of thing. You can see the Ferris wheel at the bottom. It's like a Kraken kaiju sort of Pacific Rim looking monster.
Right, and that's why I was like, oh, I want to hear Alex's opinion on that because you know me, I'm not a fan of big monster stuff, but I know you are, and
it's so funny because I didn't know this was like a sequel to the Man of Tomorrow universe, and I wasn't a big fan of that animation style, but I actually think these look pretty good.
I think
that monster I'm very actually excited about. That looks pretty cool.
Yeah, he looks awesome, and I agree. I think maybe it's because it's a period piece; it helps lend to the style.
That's probably true. I could see that. And I think I don't know, I like the shading, especially in this image and the previous one of Wonder Woman. It's simple, but I think it creates a nice contrast.
I agree. And then we have one last image here. Speaking of Flash, boom.
Oh, so this might be like a Flashpoint tie-in.
See, that's what I was thinking, was the way Apocalypse War ended was Barry going back in time to undo everything. And I thought, wouldn't that be cool if Barry shows up in World War II and this is the story where he effectively changes the DC universe into a new continuity?
Yeah, that would be a pretty cool one where this is sort of the launching point, or maybe this is like he went back too far and this is like the misadventure almost.
Right.
There's a lot of cool stuff you could do there. That's actually pretty cool that they're kind of starting to tie it together like that.
That's a theory. I don't know if that is the case, but it's just a theory of mine.
Yeah.
So before we get started, I do have one question in the chat. Do you mind if we ask real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so we have Skullman. What's up, Skullman? Just want to ask, if Transformers were real, would you rather an Autobot or Decepticon? Well, that's a funny question to ask during a DC stream.
Man.
What do you say, Alex?
I mean, it's the classic Gryffindor Slytherin question.
Well, yeah. Like, do you want an airplane or do you want a car? Because that used to be the difference between Autobots and Decepticons.
Yeah, that's kind of the. Well, I mean, I think I'd rather be like a plane. I'd rather like fly around.
Yeah, I don't need a boombox. I already have one.
Yeah, and I wouldn't want to transform into like a gun for another Transformer to use. Like that's like, yeah. Can't I just have a cannon on my wrist or something? I got to transform into the cannon.
Yeah, for me, I would probably go Autobot because I love my car, but it's getting old, so I need a new car.
I think the more important question is, if you're an Autobot, what like car are you? Are you gonna go like a big truck, or are you gonna be like a sports car, or are you gonna go like something real under the radar, like a Honda Civic?
Is there a Honda Civic Transformer? That's cool.
That would be great. Like if there was just a line of like mid-range Transformers, like Honda Civic, like Nissan Altima, Toyota Camry. I
want to be a tricked out Fiat.
You want to be a tricked out Fiat?
Yeah. What Transformer would that be? Maybe Blur. He just talks really fast. He's annoying. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if
one of those annoying Transformers from the second movie is what it would be.
Oh, one of the racist brothers.
Yeah, this weird things were the worst part. Like made that movie the worst movie in the Transformers franchise. I want my Autobot to be half of an ice cream truck. Okay, we're going long, but before we go, rank the Transformers movies really quick.
What?
Let's just do it real quick.
Well, the first one's probably the best.
Number one is one. I agree.
Yeah. Well, there is only one Transformer movie. It came out in 1986 and it was a cartoon. But if you're forcing me to rank the live action ones, the first one is the best. The third movie, Dark of the Moon.
I agree with that.
Even though there's a lot of bad moments in it, I would probably still give the second one in third place.
Oh, really? I was gonna go fourth movie.
Yeah, it's a coin toss because I really like the wackiness of Shia LaBeouf's performance in the second movie. And I'm not a big fan of Mark Wahlberg's performance in the Age of Extinction. So it's like that's the only deciding factor there. So it's a coin toss. So I would say those maybe can fluctuate between third and fourth. And obviously Last Night is the worst one.
I think 2 is worse than the Last Night. I'd rather watch Last Night than
I'd rather watch 1 than Bumblebee, and then the others.
Yeah, I guess that's true. 1 is effectively the best, and then they just keep undoing the canon they establish every movie.
Every movie is like a different time period in the past where something happens there that affects modern day Transformers, and you're like, how many times did they come to this planet?
Maybe my theory should be that each of the movies are in a separate alternate Transformers dimension, and there's going to be another movie that comes out that unites them all, and it's going to make perfect sense.
Maybe. I do regret that we went on a Transformer rant, and so next time I'm just going to ignore questions that aren't DC related. I'm sorry, Skullman, because now we're 15 minutes in to our commentary track, and we haven't even started
the movie. Yeah, we got to start the movie. For a 120-minute movie.
Yeah, it's a short movie, so it's cool. No, but I appreciate your question, Skullman. And his choice is he said he would probably go with Megatron or Starscream. So yeah, I agree. But yeah, we're not doing a Transformer podcast today. Maybe one day. Yeah, maybe one day we'll watch a Transformer movie together. So tonight's movie is Mystery of the Batwoman. So if you are at home watching now, if you're still here 15 and a half minutes in, I'll put a comment in the comment section later when it renders and uploads at around the 16-minute mark is when the movie starts. So get it ready. Alex, are you ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready to go whenever you are.
All right. So Alex has never seen this, so there might be times where I don't talk as much, but I'm
one
sure
of the few I haven't seen.
I know, but like I said, this flies under a lot of people's radar because it was before they officially made DC animated movies yearly.
This came out when I was 10 years old.
That's weird because this came out when I was 23 years old.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
It is. All right.
We would have still gotten along back then. We would have still had the same exact interests.
Yeah, we would have the same conversation. Well, that's just because I have the mind of a 10-year-old.
And I've continued to have the mind of a 10-year-old.
Yeah. Awesome. So everyone get ready to hit play, and I'm going to do 3, 2, 1, and then on 0 we hit play. All right. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, 0.
Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, 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 dun. We might be like a hair or two off, but that's okay.
I think like within 2 or 3 seconds is fine.
Yeah, you're fine because you're basically going to get our point on whatever scene is popping up on screen. I like watching mine on my Kindle Fire because I have the new one. So it's like this big, like 11-inch screen. Like,
oh, that's kind of nice.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I have a 10-foot HDMI cord running from my computer to my to my TV.
Nice. That's also good. Speaking of Transformers, there's Ultra Magnus.
Yep, his cameo in the Batman.
Now I can tie it all in, and Skullman's question was spot on.
He's going almost 80. Jeez.
Yeah.
That truck is also going 80, which isn't safe for a truck that size. So
especially with that cargo.
I hope there's like a scene where Batman says to the truck driver, "You were going too fast. Like you needed to slow down."
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think of her tech?
I mean, it looks a lot like Batman's. She's kind of silvery.
Yeah. Yeah, she is. It's a silver costume.
Yep. I was expecting something more almost like along the lines of like Batman Beyond.
Ah, interesting.
It kind of looks similar to that to me from the poster.
Right. Well, it's definitely her face is fully covered. Like Batman Beyond's.
Yeah. Oh, so they weren't shipping cars, they were shipping weapons.
Yeah, they I guess they wrapped them to look like cars.
Yeah, and like wouldn't you at least put them in a closed truck?
Right. Exactly. Right. Yeah, exactly.
Jeez, that's a cannon. Oh my god. Just put that in a closed truck. Like what if this turns over and there's an accident?
Oh yeah.
And like a bunch of military grade research and development weapons fall in the streets of Gotham.
Oh, what are you drinking tonight?
Oh, a Kirin beer.
Okay.
Yeah, Japanese beer. I'm drinking a Kirin.
I am drinking a John Daly.
I don't know who John Daly is.
He's a golfer that's kind of tied to alcoholism. So it's an Arnold Palmer with like a little vodka in it.
Oh, okay. So it's basically two golfers.
Yes. It's two golfers having a drink together. So yeah, we got in our introduction to Tim Drake here. And I mean, he's been on the show obviously, but we're seeing him and Batman for the first time in the film. Because yeah, you expect the cold open to start with Batman, and I like that they start with Batwoman. Like this is very much her movie, which I kind of appreciate that they did that.
That is pretty cool. Like that they focus more on her, and it's kind of like the Cowboy Bebop movie where the cast almost feels like the guests. Right.
Yeah. That's kind of this. I mean, there's an equal amount, I guess, of time between Batman and Batwoman, but they
she's clearly a main character.
Yeah, the arc is kind of her arc, her story.
I love these old 2000, like early 2000s movies where they have to have a shot to show that no one actually died.
That was a thing, especially in the ratings. Like you had to make sure people saw that if they hit the water, you saw the guy come back up out of the water.
Yeah,
was
he was alive, that he wasn't dead. There's
or
no
if a car
ambiguity
flipped over, you had to hear the guys groaning in the car.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And see here, like Batman saves the car.
Right.
She's kind of got like a Green Goblin glider almost.
Yes, I was waiting for you to say it. I was like, yes, she's got like a Green Goblin, a Hobgoblin glider.
That's pretty cool. I've always liked that kind of I don't know, mechanism within comic books, like those sort of like flying hoverboard sort of things.
Right.
I'm liking the animation so far too.
Oh yes, me too.
It's simple, but it's just so fluid, which is cool. Like they do a lot of fun stuff with it, it seems. Like I don't know, sometimes you get kind of impressed when people like have that very simplified style, but they still make it very interesting regardless.
Well, like I said, I mean, this is the same animation from season 4 of Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah.
So it's, and I think they did this in between 2 seasons of, I think either Batman Beyond or Justice League.
I love that Batmobile.
Yeah, me too. But it was like in between 2 seasons. But what I love here is the theme they're playing is like, it's very reserved. Like it's not like dun 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 dun, dun it's like not like they normally do.
Mysterious.
Right.
It definitely has that mystery setup vibe to it.
Right, which is perfect for the title and the kind of the focus.
And even this is like kind of a smooth jazzy thing going on at the moment.
Yeah. Lolita Ritmanis. She's done a lot of stuff for the animated series and some of the animated movies, and I think also on Justice League and Unlimited as well. So it's pretty much a lot of the team that works in those cartoons in between seasons of cartoons rushed together to make a movie. And like, because I remember the commentary for this and they were like, oh yeah, this was stressful and this was stressful, and we had to like record this person's dialogue on this day because a week later they were recording for like Justice League, and it was like constant things like that. This is one of those movies
don't
where
have openings like this anymore.
No, but this is one of those movies that where this wasn't like someone's idea that worked there. As far as I know, it was like a corporate thing. Like they were like, "Hey, can you get another movie out there, another animated movie?" And they're like, "Whoa, what's it going to be about?" And then they came up with the idea. Yeah.
I like that Alfred gives him just like dating advice.
Yeah. Well, and Alfred always, he's like, he always gives him like a smart ass response. And Skullman, you're right. I think Batman Returns is an underrated film. I don't know if Alex agrees, but I love that scene where Catwoman licks Batman's face. I think I would have messed that scene up a few times on accident. So obviously these are our villains, but what I like is that this is a crime story. You were talking about that earlier with Soul of the Dragon. This is very much about Gotham's crime, so there's not a lot of super masked villains in this.
Yeah, and I think that's what's always more fun with Batman stories anyway. You want to see him be a detective. You want to see him tackle kind of more I don't know, street level issues and kind of solve big problems that way. Superman is the one you want to see fly into space and punch snake gods.
Right.
Batman's the guy you want to like dismantle the cult around the snake god.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Penguin. Oh.
Yeah.
I like this rendition of him.
Yes, I've always liked the animated version of him. He's especially this season. So when they were,
He's got Batman like Target dolls.
yeah,
$98 to blow up and take 4 hours to create, but we have a storeroom full of them.
oh yes.
This is like a munitions factory that he has.
Right. It's a joint deal. Like basically, Batman has done so good cleaning up crime in Gotham. So some of the remaining crime lords, like Penguin, who runs the Iceberg Lounge, Rupert Thorne, who's been like a villain since season 1 of the cartoon, and then this new guy, Mr. Duquesne, they all have combined their criminal efforts and they're all in on the deal, a third each.
Okay.
Hoping to stay ahead of Batman, and so far they kind of have been, but now this new player's in town and seems to know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, Batgirl.
Yeah, Batwoman. Yeah.
There's a distinction. Is there a Spider Girl? Because I know there's a Spider Woman.
Oh yeah, there's Spider Girl. There's like 5.
I mean, I don't count like Spider Gwen.
Yeah, she's now Ghost Spider now.
Oh, is that her name now?
Mm-hmm.
That's not a bad name.
It's growing on me.
Ghost Spider? Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good name.
Yeah.
Is she in current... we don't need to get into Spider Girl.
Yeah, she is.
Business. Nothing for you to worry about.
Nice job. Business. What's up, Florent? Yes. Well, if you see on my screen here, it says, hi, we will catch up on comments soon. So I don't respond. We're not responding right when comments drop because we are interacting. Alex had never seen this movie before.
They have a Batwatch news section. Could you imagine like a vigilante is such a prominent thing in your city that it's like how some places track hurricanes, they track Batman.
Right.
Grizzled detective eating a candy bar. What a good trope.
So good. And they got to squeeze in a Bat Hound reference.
It's a mutant comic. Mutant Meta Me.
Right.
I didn't realize the Bat family was so extended within this series.
What?
I've never really seen the series that much. I think I've saw it when I was a kid, but I haven't rewatched it as a adult.
This is Bruce Timm being creepy. Bruce Timm loves the idea of Batman and Batgirl being together. And so right there, she's like laying it on really thick, like, oh, what? You have a new Batwoman? What's going on? And
I'm a redhead, sir. We're hard to find.
But thankfully, Batman was like, phone's breaking up, you know. So it's like he's aware that she has a crush on him, but he's like, yeah, you're like in college, get away from me. That's what Batman should do. But Bruce Timm later, as we know, went on to do the Killing Joke movie.
I was about to ask about the Killing Joke.
And he finally got his wish, and it was the creepiest thing ever.
It was so weird and out of place in that movie.
Yeah, it was.
Oh no, she's struggling with her presentation.
Yeah. Actually, I like this character a lot.
This is why they needed PowerPoint. PowerPoint was available in 2003.
Yeah, but the Gotham in the cartoon universe is like a mixture. All the TVs only show black and white images, except for now in this season they added color.
So it's supposed to be more of like an early,
it's just
era.
It's timeless. You don't know when it takes place.
Yeah, because the cars got a very 60s feel. I think.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, there's giant
retro at least. Yeah,
right. Which that's got to be expensive for the police to fund blimps flying around.
Oh yeah, that's true. They got the blimps.
Yeah.
Zeppelin Patrol. That was in Legend of Korra 2. They also had blimps.
Right. That's right.
Oh, they're getting sushi. This is timeless.
This is timeless. You're right. So, Batman's into her gadgets, if you know what I mean. And I think you do.
Yeah. She's really good at chopsticks.
No.
Oh. Throw in the sushi like that.
I love that.
Wouldn't she think that's suspicious? That
yeah.
Wait, we're in the middle of the meal, Bruce.
Yeah, right.
Like,
and a business meeting.
yeah, like we have so much more to talk about. You're
right.
leaving? Yes, I have to attend to business. I'm your business partner. What sort of business? Right. Sky business.
Sky. Right. I gotta go stand on a roof. Ooh.
$200 yards.
200 yards. Ooh, correction. You stupid man. I love this. I don't know if you caught it. There you go. Batman did. It's like,
I love his walk away.
I love the cop is like, I got a lead. I'm working on something. And it's like literally in his hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. The bric-a-brac.
Yeah, why would you put a neon sign outside your illegal arms factory?
Well, I mean, come on. He's Penguin. He's not the thinker.
It's just such a weird, like... like, it's like if I was, I don't know, running an illegal gambling operation and I had just one of those big flowing guys going up with this big sign that said gambling.
Yeah.
One guy's got a gun, the other guy's just got a bent up pipe.
Yeah. It's so the one guy can shoot the person in the leg and he can pipe them.
I just imagine like the same thing. One of them's got a gun and one of them's got a pipe. Right, I just imagine the conversation where the guy gets a gun and the guy's like, well, I only got a pipe here. And it's like, yeah, you're just going to have the pipe. I'm going to take the gun.
Right. Welcome to Superhero Team Up. I'm being egged on in the chat to say something.
Say something.
It says, I'm supposed to say, hey, you look good with wings, cleavage, and a goatee. Not to you, so I guess that you're supposed to say that to me, but Alex can't see the comments.
Yeah, my computer's weird. Sorry, I can't see comments. Hey, you look good with wings, beard, and a goatee.
Cleavage.
Wings, cleavage, and a goatee.
Thank you. You can have that soundbite for your phone now. Just clip that out. Yeah, sorry. We were, like I said, Alex, first time watching this, so we're more engaged with each other, but I am keeping an eye on the chat, and I'll comment in there from some time to time, and sometimes we'll respond. But yeah, now the warehouse is like blowing up because that went south really quickly.
Yeah, I love how it's just like, okay, but they're not. They're thinking the neon sign was a bad idea now.
Right.
Everything just explodes. Jeez.
I mean,
it is an arms factory, I guess.
There's definitely a lot of things that are explodable in there. Or
yeah, like there was that whole scene where there were like a bunch of missiles like coming down a conveyor belt.
Right.
Casnia, huh?
Well, better get that.
Sorry, yeah, there's...
That's all right. I'm sure Echo will bark here any minute now, so...
She has just begun.
Mm-hmm. Whoa, whoa. Why would you instantly attack Batman? Like, that's some balls.
Yeah, she's a real ballsy lady.
And she got a blow in, too. She kicked him right in the jaw.
Oh, he's got some tricks. He's following her on the Batarang.
Batman doesn't let any woman kick him in the jaw, only Catwoman.
Yeah, not many people can kick him in the jaw. That's a lot of flexibility.
Yeah, he's a tall guy.
I wonder if there's like someone in China who's mass producing Batarangs and just like selling them to Bruce and like all his Bat family separately.
Interesting. Well, what was that?
They all have the same Batarangs.
They kind of touch on that. Was that Batman Begins when he's ordering his helmet?
Yeah.
And Alfred's like, you got to order this piece from like India and this piece from China, and we have to put it together ourselves, but we have to order like 3,000 of each component so it doesn't set off any red flags.
Yeah, so it doesn't look weird.
Right.
That's a fun way to address it. I actually think that's a pretty smart mechanism within the
I thought so, because you don't really need to explain that stuff. It doesn't matter, but it's like, it is fun that they did in that way.
Yeah, it kind of adds a little bit more realism. Oh wow.
He just leaves.
He's like, doesn't even say anything. He's just like beat up a bunch of people and then was like, okay, bye.
Yeah.
It's like a video game character just turns around and leaves, doesn't say anything.
It's like an NPC. Batman's an NPC.
Yeah.
Breakfast food is really easy to animate, by the way.
Oh, because it's just globs of things?
Yeah, you could do like stacks of pancakes and butter and stuff. Easier, I should say, than animating steak or something every time.
Yeah, like a steak that's being bitten out of. And...
Right. They do it, but it's, yeah. Ooh, she brought up Mom. I like that they don't really say anything throughout the movie, but the two goons, they give them a little like, they put them into moments of levity, which is kind of fun.
Oh yeah, they give them expressions and stuff, and
yeah, which is fine. It works.
Yeah.
But I like this because another thing I like about this movie is that there's a lot of Bruce Wayne in it, like more so than most other animated movies.
Yeah, I kind of like stories where Bruce Wayne gets to kind of be Bruce Wayne a bit. Like, right. I like where he's kind of like walking around being the rich guy, going between that and Batman, and you get to see the dichotomy of his life.
Sure. But also I like that when he's Bruce, he's not being Batman either. Like he's he's like, I'm Bruce Wayne because I can't walk around in a bat suit during the day and follow this woman. So I'm just going to follow her as Bruce Wayne.
Well, that's always the funny part about Batman. Like at the end of the day, Superman is Clark Kent. Superman is the alter ego. Right. He feels like at the end of the day, he's Clark Kent when he goes to bed. Like it's the opposite with Batman. Batman is who he is, and Bruce Wayne is the alter ego he has to maintain, and he struggles with. Yeah, that he's just like, oh, this is the worst part. Yeah, right. He's like, ugh, where's my? He's like, I would just rather be Batman the whole time. Right. This running is kind of funny. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's funny them running down escalators. Yeah. God, the jewelry. Your jaw would be, oh, dang. Oh, yeah, that guy, like, rode one of them down. Like, he rode the other guy down, basically. They ramped up the physical comedy on that one.
I like that he uses an umbrella too. Like there aren't 7 other doors.
And this girl doesn't seem much older than Batgirl. Like she lives at home with her dad. It's not like
he looks like he's Bruce Wayne's age.
Yeah, it's not like she's like some like 38-year-old lawyer or doctor or something.
Right.
She's like, Daddy, let me go shopping. Like it's not
Right. Yeah, she's like, Daddy, I'm going to use your credit card and go shopping.
Yeah, and he's like, take my goons.
Yeah, right. I like that he acts surprised. He's like, so the gangster?
Oh goodness.
Oh my goodness, I'm not Batman. She's like, wait, why did you say that?
I like the cars a lot in this movie.
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty much lifted from the show too. They just like, that was the thing. There's a lot of like assets that were kind of pulled from the show just to get this movie out faster.
That makes sense. What a weird exchange.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, Bruce is kind of a weirdo.
I mean, yeah, he wants to be Batman the whole time.
Yeah, he's like, maybe this isn't so bad. I can be Batman later, I guess. You know, I didn't even think about how young she was until you just brought all that up.
Yeah,
like, that's a great.
Seems like she's not. Like he's putting that stiff arm to Batgirl, but
yeah,
this lady like that he's flirting with. I guess if he wants information, maybe that's it. But like,
sure. Man, she just met Bruce Wayne, just found out he was Bruce Wayne, and just drove him right to her favorite spot with her mom. Like
the most sentimental.
Yeah, like she moves fast.
Like, yes, this is an important place to me. Which is where my dead mother used to take me to paint.
Right. And could you imagine if that wasn't Batman trying to get information out of her? And it was just like, okay.
Like, we ran away in a shopping mall together. I thought this was going to be more of a fling sort of thing.
Right. Are you going to push me off this cliff, lady?
Oh, they followed him.
Yeah.
They must have a tracker in the car.
Maybe.
I like the goons have like unique designs in it too. And it feels like everything's fleshed out.
Oh. So Bruce in the animated world he's fallen in love a couple times. The first one obviously being Andrea Beaumont, who's the Phantasm from Mask of Phantasm.
Yeah.
And then was Catwoman, obviously, in the cartoon and stuff, and they had a lot of back and forth. And then now this one. There may be a fourth one. I just can't think of it off the top of my head. And then there's Wonder Woman. In the Justice League cartoon, they insinuate a lot that Batman and Wonder Woman are an item.
I think they make more sense than Wonder Woman and Superman.
You know, it's funny. I actually agree with that. I didn't really like the Superman Wonder Woman thing in the comics.
I don't think they're a good dating match, but I feel like Batman and Wonder Woman are. I really, really love. I don't like Tom King very much as a writer. Like, there's a lot of stuff he's done that I don't like, and I feel bad that I have to say that I feel I need to say that.
Right.
But at the same time, there's one Batman story he's done that I just absolutely love, and it's the one shot where him and Superman go on the double date to the carnival
with Lois and it's like
and
Lois,
Kyle,
and Batman and Selina. Yeah.
And you get to see like the difference between like how they date.
Sure, right.
Like they're going through the tunnel of love, and Lois Lane and Clark Kent are sitting there, and they're like, "Oh, this is so nice! Like this is so pretty." And then like it's Batman and Selena Kyle, and Selena Kyle's like straddling him, and they're making out.
Right. Yeah, like Lois and Clark are kind of like very vanilla people.
Yeah.
And Bruce is like they like Lois and Clark probably like just do missionary.
Yeah.
That's it. And Batman knows like 20 different positions, and
Yeah, he's got like a whole dungeon or something.
Right, he screws standing up a lot. Like, yeah. We got to really watch. Every time I see Penguin in this design, I think about the episode. We got to watch it one day when we get to the animated cartoon episodes. The episode where Superman walks around Gotham dressed as Batman. That's like one of my favorite episodes, where Batman goes missing and Superman is like, well, let's go see the commissioner, and he's with Robin. So he dresses up as Batman to make Commissioner Gordon think it's still Batman.
Oh, yeah.
But he's got superpowers. So like everyone he interacts with, he's like running fast and hitting walls open, and everyone's like, what the hell is happening?
What the fuck, Batman?
Right. And there's a scene with Penguin in that episode, which is just like the best scene in the world.
I think it's in Justice League Unlimited, but it's one of my favorite parts. It's where like Lex Luthor switches bodies with Flash.
Yes.
And he's like, now I get to know your secret identity. And he's like, who the fuck is this?
Yeah, he's like, I don't know who this is.
It's like, it's just, it is just some guy. Never met him before, I guess.
Wally West, the guy who's left the fastest man alive, but left no footprints on the planet.
Yeah, it's such a funny. That's like my favorite scene in that whole series.
Definitely
Makes me laugh so much.
I love that she's teaching Robin to cheat or solve puzzles in a game that runs on a disc. I guess that's still a thing. I guess games are still on disc. I buy digital, so
I buy disc games, man. Like I'm gonna buy Ghost of Tsushima on disc.
Okay. I bought it. I got it digitally on for like $15.
What?
Nice. Yeah.
How?
I have a friend that works at
okay.
Yeah, I don't know if I can say, but yeah, but I can get it at a deal if I need to.
I got my gift card for buying a fridge, and that's how I'm gonna get mine.
I've only done that twice. I got 2 games at that deal, but I try not to abuse it. It's a nice offer. I wait till they offer it to me instead of bugging them about it. I don't like to do that. Yeah, I don't like to do that.
Like this professional woman who's probably at least in her late 20s, who's like, I have a master's. I'm like, oh, you have a 19-year-old who comes to you in weird formal dresses. Okay.
Right. Well, I just like how
she was a business meeting.
I like how they play some of these scenes, like with like that scene there where she's like Rocky is kind of like the nervous, bumbly, tech girl. Kind of reminds me a lot of Felicity Smoke in the first season of Arrow.
Yeah.
And she's
an Arrow, but
she's like a little bubbly, and I love that she shakes that girl's hand and apologizes, and the girl's like, "Why are you apologizing?" She goes, "I don't know," because it seemed like maybe her and Bruce were having a moment, but now this young girl comes in and steals Bruce away.
To the Iceberg Lounge.
This song's an earworm. It actually pops up in my head every now and again.
Is this club owned by Mr. Freeze?
This club is owned by the Penguin.
Oh, I guess that also makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. There's an actual music video.
Such an entrepreneur.
On the DVD and Blu-ray of this movie. Like they hired an actual singer, and she did like a whole song for the movie.
Oh, a singer sang? Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, like that's like like they made a pop song for this movie. All right. So
Could you imagine those guys saying that to like the 19-year-old gangster's daughter who runs the city and Bruce Wayne's date?
Sure. I don't know how old she is, but she's definitely, I would say she's young, like for sure. Like you said, she's probably comparable to Batgirl.
Yeah, I'm guessing 19 to 22. I feel like that's a reasonable guess.
Yeah. Well, she's not in school, but that could just be a choice.
Because she's going shopping.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if it came out and she's like 38?
I mean, I'm sure the animators and the people who wrote this will probably try to justify that she's only 5 years younger than Bruce and she has an overprotective father because of what happened to her mom.
But she's lived at home for her entire life.
Well, if you're the daughter of a gangster, you don't really get to go have a life, technically. Because if he has enemies, they could just kidnap her.
I guess that's true, but to the point where you're almost a 40-year-old spinster?
Sure. I mean, yeah. You've ever seen Sopranos?
No, I haven't, so that's probably a problem, too.
Well, it's a fictional show, so I don't know how accurate it is. All right. So obviously, shit's getting real. And it's just got more real.
Yeah. Oh, that's from Bruce's invention.
Bruce's?
Not Bruce, the lady's invention, the girl's invention. It's from the Wayne Foundation. It's a Wayne company thing.
Yep. Uh-oh. I like these hench women.
That's the muscle of your club?
That's the muscle of Penguin's club. Pretty awesome. Very progressive of them.
Yeah, but it's just I love how they just walk by a bunch of very big guys and they're
yeah, right. And I we
got business to do.
But then they cartwheel in. It's like you couldn't have run to the door.
Yeah, they got ninja shit.
Oh.
Wow, good knee there.
Dang.
She throws them both with her legs.
Oh, that move always works. Hook kick somebody into somebody else.
Yeah, just coordinated dance kicks. They're the best. That's what all the UFC fighters do.
Dang, kick through the wall?
Yeah, man, that's some cheap-ass plywall.
Oh, no, the pop singer. Oh, Jesus. Imagine writing dialogue for the Penguin. Oh. This guy. Every Bullock scene is chocolate or donuts.
Yeah, he's always eating something.
Yeah, he's like Brad Pitt in Ocean's 11, except he's 10 times fatter. It's more realistic. A guy who snacks all day.
I love he's just backhand.
Yeah. That's a classic Batman move, dude.
Oh, she can just call in her...
She's the Hobgoblin.
She's the Hobgoblin.
I'll get you, Harry. It's no, Dad, no.
Now he's got to fight all the seals.
Yes.
How many missiles did he just fire?
Can I get seals with frickin' lasers on their heads? Penguin, he's a good Dr. Evil.
He kind of is.
I'm excited to see Colin Farrell play him in the new movie.
Colin Farrell is playing the Penguin?
And he looks completely unrecognizable. If you haven't seen any photos, you're like, what? That's Colin Farrell? They added prosthetics and stuff on his face. And he's wearing a suit, a fat suit, kind of. He's not big. He's not big. He's just a little thick.
He's a thick boy?
He's a little thick boy.
Bane.
Dominatrix Bane.
Dominatrix Bane, yep.
Yeah, because this season they took away the luchador look and they made him more of like a dominatrix. He's got like a spiked collar on and a zipper on his mouth, I think.
So now that he knows she isn't Batwoman, is he like, get the fuck out. I don't want anything to do with you.
No, I think he's kind of refreshed by that. Because
he's like, oh, you're just the daughter of a gangster.
Right. But like there's some edge to you, but I don't have to worry about you running around in a costume.
Is that a problem he runs? Yeah, I guess that is a problem he runs into with a lot of
all the time. Yeah. Well, he's got Batgirl chasing after him. He was chasing after Catwoman. He had Andrea. So it's like he's probably just like, oh, you're just like a regular goon's daughter. Okay, cool.
Like, oh, you're just my enemy's daughter. Be my bride.
Right.
Oh.
I love that he just doesn't care.
He's like, oh, are you placing me under arrest here in this dark abandoned subway?
He's like, what are you about to say? New police officer? So this really plays.
She's confessing that Batman saved her, but she's also like, I might write you a ticket.
Well, I think she was just like playing. But I like that she just opens up to him about that. And he's like, yeah, I remember. But I'm like, how the hell old is Bruce? Is he saving everyone when they were like younger? I mean, it could have happened maybe a few years ago, I guess. But I like that Bruce remembered. Yeah. Like, that's something I think that they did that in the comics once where some kid or someone said like, oh, you actually stopped a fire in my neighborhood and and I was able to, like, police were able to save our firefighters were able to save my mom or something. It was something like along those lines. And Bruce said, oh yeah, I remember that day. And he's like, that was Firefly, like did that. And I was like, wow, this guy is like, he knows the lives he saves. I thought that just added something to the character. Like, of course he would. He cares about every detail of everything.
Yeah, he wants to know.
So this was neat. I had a thing in my head for a long time when I watched this. But she calls him Kevin. Because when I first saw him, I was like, ooh, is her boyfriend animated universe Jason Todd?
Oh, that'd be kind of cool. Yeah.
And I thought that would have been a really easy way to squeeze Jason into the continuity where he's like, all right, he's a criminal and he used to work for the Penguin and, whatever. But he's Kevin. So I'm like, well, that's fine. Kevins are cool.
That would be fun to invite Kevin on this show.
That's true. Actually, maybe we will. Maybe we'll get him and Shuddy on here. Shuddy would probably like watching animated stuff with us.
Yeah, both of them. Maybe we could even get a Jeff episode.
I think we scared away the chat, by the way, by saying we will respond when we can. Now there's nobody watching.
Oh, well, we can respond to stuff more.
It's fine. No, Kevin.
Kevin, no, please, Kevin. Well, did they say anything that we missed?
No, I mean, yeah, Florent popped in and said hi, but, I waited a few minutes before I said hi back to him, and he was kind of like, oh, how come no one's responding? And then Jay Money popped in. Skullman was here hanging out with us. Neo Squirrel dropped in and told me to say that weird thing to you or you to me about the wings, the cleavage, and the goatee. So, yeah, we're caught up. Oh, look, she knows Kung Fu. So did you guess? Did you guess it?
I mean, it's pretty obvious.
It is now, but did you guess it earlier?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of figured it out when, obviously when she threw the penguin thing, that was kind of the big giveaway. But I kind of suspected, I was like, oh, the bumbling girl. Maybe she's.
Yeah.
Especially when you said it was a mystery.
Well, yeah. Well, the title of the movie said that.
Well, you affirmed it.
What are you doing?
Sorry, I dropped something. You're the right body type, not Batwoman. Sorry, I'll be back in 1 second. God damn it! Sorry.
It's all right. Yeah, you knocked your camera around. You just made everything awkward. I didn't know what to say.
I know. My bad. I'll have to find
your dumb ape thing
after the movie, which is
so Rocky here. So she's been revealed as Batwoman, but I do like the point she brings up. Like, why don't you just go arrest Penguin, you idiot?
Yeah, like why don't you just go grab him?
You know, I know Batman, he takes it personally when she's running around in a bat costume. So he's kind of like, what the F?
Like, hey, you're ripping off my brand.
You could have been anybody else. Like, why dress like me? But now that she's attacked and all the villains are getting desperate, it's like, all right, their muscle is now here.
Hold on, your audio's kind of cutting out.
My audio's not cutting out. You're messing with a tin right in front of the microphone.
I can't hear you at all, man. I'm sorry. It's kind of staticky.
For real? Hello?
I can start to hear you now a little bit, but it's still staticky.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. You know what? It might have been I have a cover on the mic. Could have been that.
Oh, it might have been like rubbing it or something.
Yeah, like this. Yeah. Sorry about that, people watching. Uh-oh, twist.
Oh no, how could this be? Oh, Batman's thinking about that.
Twist. Two Batwoman? Pretty clever. Bet you didn't see that one coming, Alex the genius.
Yeah, it's like a combo thing. Yeah, I didn't see that coming. It's a good mystery twist.
Look at that. She's got her own goblin cave.
Batman's on to me.
Ooh.
Just spinning off him like, we were creatively lazy.
Twist. 3 Batwoman.
Oh no.
And that's why they chose the Batman identity, or Bat identity, because she's idolized him because he saved her life.
Oh.
It all makes sense.
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. Makes sense. Fragments. Creepy.
Very creepy.
What's this, an underwear drawer? I bet you there's some evidence in there.
Exactly.
What's wrong with you?
Me?
Yeah, what are you doing? What you doing? What you touching?
Making sure everything's on the level.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad I sound better. Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
I love that. The I don't know if you caught that, but the criminal saw Batman, and Batman just stared at him, and the other guy goes, "You see anything in there?" And he goes, nope, nothing. Just like,
no,
whatever you doing here, Batman? It's like, it
not
reminds me.
going to address this.
It reminds me of that scene in Iron Man 3 when he's like, he aims the gun at Tony Stark and Tony pulls out the hand to blast him. And he goes, you know what, dude? I don't even want to work for these guys. They're totally weird here. And he like drops the gun and runs away.
It's like, I'm good. Like, I don't need this.
But yeah, I really like the levity in this I think is executed really well. I think there's some cheesy dialogue for sure that I'm not a fan of, but the comic beats in this kind of work pretty well, especially with the goons. Like, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, I agree. The comic beats work pretty well. The mystery's kind of fun.
Mm-hmm. The characters all have a motivation, which is good.
Yeah, and it's fairly straightforward. It's not overly complex. I feel like the opening makes it seem much more epic than it ends up being.
Yeah,
like, the opening's really great. It sets it up very well. And then the movie kind of does its thing, but it feels like it kind of muddles along.
Yeah, they definitely they juggle a lot in this.
Yeah,
introducing 3 new characters here, and then it almost seemed like you had to reveal them all as Batwoman because otherwise you would have never been able to wrap up their arcs separately.
Yeah, because there were so many. You kind of needed to unite them so they had a common ending.
Right. But yeah, and then also the boat thing here. This happens a lot with Penguin. I think in the video games, the Arkham games, Penguin operates out of a boat as well.
Huh.
Not a cruise ship like this is, but he does operate out of a giant shipping rig.
Yeah, he's in a lot of pots. He like owns factory property. He owns a cruise line. He owns a nightclub.
Yep. Yeah. He owns apparently a neon sign manufacturer.
Yeah.
This is really cool. There's actually a video game, a Resident Evil video game that takes place on a boat, and the main hall of the boat looks a lot like this room.
Oh, really? That's kind of cool.
Yeah. And that game came out years after this, so I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it's coincidental. Maybe this is designed on a pretty generic boat design, but
I'm never sure. Yeah, boats probably have fairly standard designs.
Yeah, probably. But here we got Bane. I think Hector Elizondo plays Bane. And in the making of this, I learned something very valuable about villains, which I told you last week, which is Hector Elizondo in the making of this featurette on the DVD. He says when you play a villain, as an actor, it's a favorite to be a villain because to him, no villain thinks they're the villain. He's like, when you play heroes, most heroes feel like they're the hero and they know they're on that journey. Mm-hmm. But most villains don't look at themselves as villains. They think they're the hero too. And he said that's why he likes playing him. And it's great because he's like this older guy. He's a small frame, very skinny, bald head. And he's playing like the biggest villain in Batman.
Yeah, like a giant.
Yeah. But he's got a great voice for it. So when he pops up, I'll try to keep my mouth shut. Ooh. That's some real detective work.
He's like, I'm that good.
Yeah. And
you were in a community art class together.
So there you go. So they have been in a community art class together. He said it was years ago. So maybe mid-20s. Maybe it's a reach, but
I could see them all being, I guess, relatively similar aged.
Sure.
Maybe we were jumping to conclusions.
Well,
Well, you agreed with me.
I did agree with you because I thought that was a good point.
You jumped on my bandwagon.
I did. It's such a nice bandwagon.
It was really nice.
Bandwagon BW Bruce Wayne.
BW Bruce Wayne.
BW bandwagon.
CW Clark Wayne.
Clark Wayne. That's what CW stands for.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Cut.
You're gonna turn to Batman for help, probably.
That's right. All right, so they're driving into the boat now. You got all the Duquesne, Thorn, and Penguin. I love that Bane just was like, I'm going to hide in a box and then bust out and knock this woman unconscious. That was his big plan.
Yeah, like not hide behind the box, hide in the box.
Yeah. He's like, maybe she'll come by.
Like, it'd be funny if he like popped out of a cake.
Right. Right. Happy birthday, Batwoman. Oh, here we go.
She is.
Oh.
She planned to use a bomb.
Dominatrix Bane. I'm 37, Dad.
Oh no.
Let me go outside.
37, Dad. I've only ever had cats.
Ooh. Smart bird.
I'm a good bird.
Dang. That was a pretty good threat there, Penguin.
Yeah, he figured it out quick.
Yeah. Why even draw a gun on Batman? Like, come on.
Yeah, like, come on.
Just shit your pants and wait for him to punch you. Like, he's like, what are you doing? And you're like, I'm just getting it out of the way now. He's like, okay, goodbye. Oh,
Batman.
Oh, Batman.
Oh no, I'll bury you under the box you broke out of.
Right.
Oh, it's like acid. Okay.
Yeah. Which that's some very ingenious design on the umbrella, because wouldn't it just melt through the... They must have some special material tube inside with a little bit of acid in it.
Yeah, to like secure the acid.
Right, otherwise it would just melt.
It'd be the worst. Like if you use it as a normal umbrella and it leaks and just acid starts pouring on you.
Exactly. Ah, yes, Robin, the real hero of this story.
He hasn't done too much. He's kind of just been like, oh man, what's up? I need stuff to do. Oh, they got multiple of everything.
Yep.
Why wouldn't you? Oh, okay, now you're wearing your masks at least. I was like, why wouldn't you wear your masks?
Oh. Uh-oh. Bane hasn't even juiced up yet. I don't know when in the continuity this is. I don't know if this is before Superman dressed as Batman beats up Bane or after, but Bane is really roided out in this one.
That's exciting. Oh, he just takes those off very easily. Pop, pop.
Pop up.
Pat, pat.
Oh. Look at that. Oh, he's pissed.
Who isn't pissed in this movie?
But he's more pissed that every woman he hooks up with.
He's like, God damn it, all.
Well, I guess she was trying to do the right thing, I guess, but like Andrea did that, Catwoman, they're always like, no, we got to blow the place up. He's like, oh, Jesus, again with this.
Yeah, he's like, why is everyone who I ever have interest in, why are they all superheroes? Like, why do they always choose the path I do?
He's like, I liked you because I thought you weren't Batwoman. Now it seems you are.
He said, I'm interested in none of you now.
Oh.
Bane's dangling him. Does Bane have a top hat on now?
What? No.
I thought Bane had like a top hat on.
That's awesome.
I will save you, Papa.
Papa. Papa.
He's like, I have chains. Ugh. Oh, now it takes the dad up.
Right, yeah.
At least the dad gets to breathe again.
Yeah, that's a plus. Still wrapped in giant chains, but breathing's good.
It's something.
It's
At least you're
something.
not drowning and wrapped in chains.
Here's your big explosion ending.
Oh, Michael Bay.
Yeah.
Does he have like a penguin themed speedboat escape ship?
Yeah. Well, they wrote in on it.
He just branded everything.
Well, I mean, yeah. It's like, gee, I wonder whose boat that is.
It's not very secretive. Yeah, it's not like you can ditch it. You kind of kill the resale value. So it's like, I wanted a speedboat, but this is a penguin on it.
You get some villain collector out there who like collects memorabilia from different villains, and they're like, "Really, you bought the giant rubber ducky?" And he's like, "Shut up." Because I got it at a good deal.
I love how the penguin got a speedboat, but all like the shipmen are like on like a Titanic style raft.
Right? Yeah. Come on, police officer, get up. I thought they could have done something more there too with like because remember that cop said she was in a building that was on fire and her, Batman saved her. They could have tied that back in where on the boat, maybe surrounded by fire and she gets saved. But I mean, I guess fire and water, that's a fine parallel too, but
yeah. It would have been good if she's like in the fire and then she like saves herself.
Yeah.
That's
actually
like,
tie it back in. Yeah, right. Yep.
She's like, well, now I am the Batman. I'm in the Batman costume.
Right.
I'm the one doing the saving or something. Maybe she saved someone.
That's true. That would have been good. Here we go. Look how grossly big he gets. With his little mask. His head stays the same size. Coming at you. Go, Batman, go. Yeah, this fight is it's pretty neat. I mean, it's animated well, but I like that Batman starts off the fight with an injury. So, that's so
It's
cool.
kind of like he's got a handicap at the beginning.
Yeah, because you're like, hey, he's beaten Bane like 10 times. Is it really going to be that big of a deal? But it's like, oh, he's got like a cracked rib already. Oh, okay, it adds like a little bit of tension.
Yeah, a little bit more tension where he's like constantly playing on the defensive.
Right.
Oh, and she, like her cape is ripping, and
yep. What's Daddy gonna do? Coward.
Where she saved her dad, but
right when
save her.
Oh, look at that! Even he has a line of scumbaggery.
Yeah, where he's like, well, I won't let my daughter die.
Yeah, he's like,
I have a lot of questions here.
I'll sell drugs and guns to kids, but I'm not going to let my daughter die. Yeah.
Oh no, their engine.
I've been waiting. Rupert Thorne's tried to fire 3 guns in this movie. He's finally getting to shoot a gun.
Yeah, he keeps getting them knocked out of his hand.
Yeah, but he's missing like the biggest target.
And he's like, oh, it's a glider 20 feet hovering attached to the boat.
Right. Oh,
it's tied to a buoy now. Skipping them like stones.
Oh, yeah. Oh, goofy one-liners.
I thought penguins liked the water.
Don't penguins like water? Yuck, 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 yuck.
That's a good line. Good one-liner.
What happens to a toad when it's struck by
Bane and Batman fighting on top of a on-fire ship.
Yep.
Oh, that's a cool, he did that's actually a kind of a cool move that he did.
Yeah.
I like that. Like, crust the legs on his neck.
Yeah.
Bane, I feel, is utilized more in like movies rather than the comics. Like, I feel like Bane isn't as memorable or doesn't have as many memorable things as he does in sort of the movies and the animated stuff. Like, he's much more prominent, I feel, in those universes.
Yeah, I think he's a great character to interpret. But like, yeah, the animated show, they had some okay moments with him. Like the first episode he appeared in, which was just called Bane, the episode where Batgirl is having a nightmare from induced by the Scarecrow, where she has a nightmare of a world where she dies, and that Commissioner Gordon finds out that she was Barbara, and then leads a task force to kill Batman when he finds out Batman was Bruce Wayne. And then he hires Bane as Commissioner Gordon, lets Bane out of jail to go after Batman.
So to help.
Yeah, and so there's some cool scenes that have Bane in them. But yeah, Bane in the comic, I feel like was like this force of nature when he first showed up. Like he was really clever and smart. And dangerous. And then after he got beat, it was kind of like they try to do some stories where maybe Bane found out his dad was really Bruce Wayne's dad, Thomas Wayne, and they try to do like, oh, are we brothers? And all this stuff. And it got really bad after a while.
It
it
kind of got too soap opera-y.
Yeah, and I just feel like a lot of times people don't even know what to do with Bane anymore, because he was that guy who's like, oh, I broke Batman's back. And it's like, yeah, okay, but like Doomsday, like, well, what have you done since then? Like, you killed Superman, but so what?
But Superman's back alive again, so
right. It's like, oh, you broke
injured him
because Darkseid shot laser beams into Batman and sent him back in time. So I think he beat you. You're not the toughest guy.
He's back, like,
yeah,
he got just some physical therapy. Like, Batman went back in time.
Yeah. And gathered Omega energy all the way to the present. Like, that's some hardcore stuff.
Yeah, like, do you remember the time, like, him and Selena Kyle were the only people left after Poison Ivy took over everyone else in the world?
Right.
Okay, Bane, you broke his back.
Right.
Great job.
Whoop-de-doo. So yeah, they gotta come up with something new and interesting. I think Bane just died in the comic books.
Oh, really?
I think Joker just killed him.
Oh, was it natural causes?
Spoiler alert! No, I think it's because of the Tom King run, like all the stuff Bane did in the Tom King run. So I guess Joker's like, no, you killed Alfred in front of Robin. I wanted you to kill Alfred in front of Batman. Why don't you listen? And he basically kills Bane for disobeying him. And I'm like, well, I guess you guys weren't going to tell any good Bane stories anymore anyway. So what does it matter?
Yeah, like, who cares? Like, that's such a weird. He'll be back in 6 months. He'll be resurrected as a Frankenstein.
Bane, they should have went the route they did with Venom in Spider-Man comics with Bane. They should have just made him like an anti-hero.
Yeah, made him someone who was like maybe trying to do good but was just bad at it.
Well, they did that a little bit. He was traveling around the world, you know,
he should have had an arc where he became a chiropractor and fixed people's backs.
He went around the world destroying Lazarus pits for a while, and then he joined the Secret Six, which was like a Suicide Squad team. So they've done some things.
Okay.
Since then, nothing good. Look at that. The classic Batman disappears moment.
He's so good at that.
He's great. He disappeared right in front of her in a lit office. Like that's the best one.
Like, oh shit, like there's like 200 people outside this door in a precinct and you just vanished.
Gone.
So her dad went to prison.
Yep, but he's turned on Penguin and Thorn.
Witness.
So they're going to jail too, yeah. Which that's a nice way to button up the story, but I'm sorry, honey, your dad, if he ratted them out, he's going to die in prison. like sorry.
Does Kevin gets out?
Kevin gets out because
Kevin again. It's her brother or her lover.
No, it's her boyfriend. And he worked for Penguin, and he got pinned on a crime that was Penguin's crime, or something. Yeah.
Oh, Kevin, I love you, Kevin. Then her pops in jail, and Bruce is like, "Now there's no daddy in the way. Do you need a new daddy?"
So you're 37, right?
I'm also rich.
Here, cue the pop song. Yeah, so this never happens. Bruce never, not never, but it rarely happens. Bruce driving off in the sunset with the love interest,
with the girl, and being happy, and
like they're both like happy and smiling and cracking wise at each other, and flirting. It's like, oh, well, that's nice. Like that's actually the most memorable thing to this movie. Is I just remember it ended on that note where it was like super like cutesy. And I know some fans don't like that kind of stuff with Batman, but like I said, when you make enough of these cartoons, you're like, I got to do something different. Like otherwise.
Oh, Kelly Ripa was Rocky.
Yeah, it was Rocky. Yep. Well, I actually, and Kira Sedgwick, I got to meet Kelly Ripa once. I think I worked on a Regis and Kelly thing, and my friend said, he goes, "Dude, you were so embarrassing to the rest of us, but you made Kelly Ripa's day." We were filming, and right when we finished filming, I went up and I said, "Hey, will you sign my copy of Mystery of the Batwoman?" And she was like, "Oh my God, yes." And I said, "I love Rocky." And she goes, "Oh my God." And she was like, tell me what you love about Rocky." Apparently I made her day, but all the crew and everything, like they were like, they're like, "What the hell's he doing? That's so unprofessional." But apparently she ate it up. So I was like, "Oh, that's cool."
She was like, "Oh my God, you like this movie?
Oh, you watched it?
I like being in Batman."
Yeah.
She's like someone who finally knows I was in a Batman movie.
Yeah, because I think I was living here in Orlando when this movie came out. 2003, I would have been living here. So I was probably doing some kind of Disney Kelly Ripa Regis filming thing.
Sort of.
Yeah. All right. As far as I know, there's no end credit stuff. But yeah, they give the special thanks to Glenn Murakami and Bruce Timm and all the Batman animated series and New Adventures of Batman and Robin. There actually is a little thing at the end. If you skip ahead to at the very end, after the credits, there is something. Let me get there. It's like 6.5 minutes left. 6 minutes 29 seconds. You see the Warner Brother logo go away. And, yeah, I don't know what this is. There's something at the end here, but I figure we'll check it out. I think it's a Catwoman short film. Yes, it's called Chase Me.
We're probably nowhere near synced, but it's fine.
It's fine. If you're watching at home, if you're watching on HBO Max, that was cool because this was on the DVD of this movie, and I'm glad they put it in at the end. It's a enough said, which is what they call it in Marvel, but it's a short film with no dialogue.
Yeah, those are always fun, where it kind of there's like a line of women to dance with Bruce Wayne.
Yes, yeah, this is neat. It's because again, it's cutesy. You have this like kind of loungy jazz music playing, and it's kind of like dun, dun, dun. It's almost like elevator music in a way too.
Oh, those girls were just so excited to get radishes.
Yes. Ooh, maybe they're strawberries.
He catches Catwoman, and she's like, "But I'm sexy."
Boom.
He's like, "But I'm Batman."
I'm Batman. Screw this $900 tuxedo. Probably $9,000 tuxedo. That shows you how poor I am.
Yeah,
I'm
whatever Batman pays for stuff.
Yeah.
These are kind of cool. This is fun to see at the end of stuff.
Yeah, this is nice. I always like the DC shorts. This was kind of the early stages of it, I think, when they were testing the waters. But they didn't do another short for like years after this. But I think they were just like, I think they just wanted to do it. They were just like, you know what? No one asked us to. We just want to animate 5 minutes of Batman and Catwoman. Like,
yeah, just do like a fun action scene.
Yeah, that's it.
What? So, what are your thoughts on the movie?
I mean, I like this movie. It's. I know I'll get flack for the reasons, but I like it because it's kind of cute at times. It doesn't really take itself too seriously, although there is some dramatic moments in it and good deliveries from the actors for those dramatic moments. But it does juggle a lot of characters, and so like Robin doesn't really get a lot to do. So you're kind of like, why is he in the movie? Because he only shows up at the end to save the two Batwomen. But like you said, they could have saved themselves in a fire, and that could have showed like some kind of arc progress. So there are little things like that I feel like when you set things up, you need to pay them off a little bit better. But it's a fun, harmless, like cutesy cartoon that I think kids would
like. It's a cool 2003 film.
There you go.
Like it's nothing anything crazy to write home about. It's not winning any awards or anything, but it's a fun Batman story.
Yeah, it's just fun.
If you want a Batman story, it'll tickle your fancy.
That little cameo there by the hyenas, which are Joker's hyenas.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, there's a lot of cameos in this. The tiger. There was a Catwoman episode with called Tiger something. Oh,
yeah, wrestling a jaguar, and he just hog ties it.
Yeah. Got his chest though.
All the lions. An aviary is where she goes next.
Yeah.
Oh, the bats. Kind of fun.
And like I said, I think some of these settings were they're like reused assets, from the show. And
yeah, probably.
But it's great though. They did a good job. Oh. Get her, Batman.
Get her, Batman. Get her.
the Hush comic book
Oh,
also came out around this time, and there was a great chase between Batman and Catwoman and Hush. And so this was kind of like, oh, but look at that. Boom. Full on kisses her, bro.
yeah. Oh, I'm like 10 seconds ahead of you.
I know you are. I know.
Oh, and she's
I like that.
and she's handcuffed and stuff.
Yeah. He just left her. Like, he kissed her, but it was just so he could, because that's such a trope, like where the female will kiss the guy and then handcuff him to something. So I like that he spun it around. But then you have this ending where it's like you're like, did it really happen? You know, like, or does he want it to happen because being Bruce Wayne is so damn boring to him?
Well, he's like, if I could just run into Catwoman now.
Yeah. He's like, anything. So, yeah, I like it. It's kind of cute.
Yeah. That was fun.
Yeah. Well, so what did you, as the person who saw that for the first time, what did you think of that movie?
I enjoyed it. I didn't know what to expect from it since I'm not super familiar with that Batman animated series universe as well. So I don't know. I would say I enjoyed it. I would say it was a fun Batman story that seemed cohesive. And I'm glad we watched it. I'm glad I got to see something new within the Batman DC animated universe.
There you go. Well, so since this is a new one and stuff, why don't we pick our picks for the next 2 weeks? And I will say too, before because we'll talk for a few minutes and then wrap this up. But if you joined us and made it all the way through, thank you. We're still figuring out kind of the dynamics of this show. Alex isn't used to doing live streams, and so we're trying to figure things out. We were trying to focus more on this episode and what was happening, what we were watching, and just kind of provide this as almost like a podcast you can listen to later and not have a ton of interaction. But it seems like by doing that, we chased everyone away. So give us some time to figure out an ebb and flow to this and
figure out our balance.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll hope, we'll get better at this. Obviously it's, we're just figuring out what makes sense to focus on, but as we ease into it and we do this more and more, we'll get better at it. And speaking of doing it more and more, what pick would you like to have next week? Have you picked your pick?
I did say Superman, Shazam, Return of Black Adam. That's true.
Do you want to stick with that?
But I kind of like that one, but I also am thinking we should watch Batman Ninja. I haven't seen that either, and I thought that might be a fun one for us.
Okay. You want to watch? So is that the one you want to do next week? Is Batman Ninja?
Yeah, I was kind of I want to go with Batman Ninja, and then the following week we can do
the following week is my pick.
Yeah, your pick.
That's right. And I will lay out my pick next week because there's a lot of good choices in here. And well, you know what? How about this? We'll pick one I haven't watched yet.
Which one haven't you watched yet?
Yeah, next week we'll do yours, which is the which one is it again? This
Batman Ninja.
Batman Ninja. Okay, and then the week after that we'll do Deathstroke. Knights and Dragons.
You haven't seen that? I have seen that, so this will be fun. I get to be the one who knows what's going on.
I saw a part of it because I had the writer of it on my show, but we were talking about Spider-Man related stuff because he wrote Spider-Man cartoon episodes with Venom, so yeah. I had him on for that reason. But he mentioned this, and I was like, "Oh, I should watch that." And I rented it, and I didn't get a chance to watch it till the next night. And when I started it, I only had 30 minutes left of my rental. So I only got 30 minutes of the movie. and I'm like, all right, well, I'll re-rent it again one day. But since it's here, we'll watch it. We'll watch Deathstroke in 2 weeks.
That'll be a fun one.
Hell yeah. I like that one. Good. And I'll update. I'm going to give Alex a new logo. I gave him the Anarchy logo from the Anarchy character from DC, but we're going to change it up. And we looked up. I can't even believe you mentioned you're like Animal Man. I'm like, oh yeah. Why didn't I think of Animal Man or even
Animal Man?
Yeah, or even Aquaman. So I'm like, yeah, that's good. So I'll look for the Animal Man logo, and that'll be your new logo.
I'm excited.
And we'll try, if I ever get any Warner Brothers news, I know some people are probably like, oh, the beginning was too long or whatever. We'll try to keep it to 10 minutes, next time. I think because this time I I read what I need to do is I need to learn how to read comments without saying them out loud, because then I could be like, oh, that's a Transformer question. We can pass on that. That way we don't go on a 5-minute tangent about Transformers at the beginning of our episode. So I got to do a better job of screening the questions. Or maybe I'll put a banner up that says like keep questions DC related. I don't know. We'll figure it out. It's a weird show to do live. I get it. Like some people probably even Alex on some level would probably rather have us pre-record it. The problem is if we pre-record it, I can't record it through this setup, and I really like this setup. And then I also will have to spend all night editing it, which is a lot of work for like a 2-hour episode.
And it won't look as cool as it kind of does here.
I don't think it will. Yeah. And it'll probably be only audio, which is not very interesting for YouTube. So again, it's a new show. We kind of threw it together, but we'll work it out. We'll get there.
I think your mic is kind of dipping out again.
It's not me. It's me. It's my head keeps moving away from the mic. So like the mic is way down here. And I put it way down.
It's like staticky.
It's not though. That's got to be on your end because that's not on.
And maybe it's just on my end. Yeah,
it is because it's not on. I can hear us live, so it's not there.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So cool. But yeah. It just could be a connection thing. So anyway, yeah. Any last thoughts before we head out?
Man, any last thoughts? Not really. I think I got all I wanted to say out of the way.
Okay. Yeah, and I don't have a lot of last thoughts either. Like I just like this movie. It's fun. It's not like in my top anything for Batman movies, but I just when you said, "Oh, I haven't seen it," I'm like, okay.
Throw that on. It's a good one.
It's got a Batman happy ending, and that's just rare to see. So, but if you guys are watching later on, you made it to the end. Let us know what you thought of this episode or this movie if you've watched it with us down below. And Alex did bring up a good point. I have to figure out how to do it, but I might put like when I say 3, 2, 1, 0 play, I'll try to have like some kind of timer that is counting up. That I can start and stop. I don't know if I'll be able to do that application through StreamYard, but if I can, I'll figure it out because I think that's a good idea. So that way, anyone who jumps in later, they can see the time code of the movie and they can try to
jump to that.
Right, exactly. So that's a good idea, Alex. I think I'll if I can figure out how to do it, I will.
And the audio thing totally was on my end.
Even for a 1-hour audio, it sucks. I turn my head to take in a breath, chocolate rain. I don't know what Neo Squirrel's referencing. Maybe he's just talking about the audio things you were mentioning earlier. Yeah. So, even for a 1 hour. I guess he was saying like, even if this was like a 1 hour thing, it's tough to do with this kind of format. Yeah, with the editing. So you're right. Yeah. So editing something that's an hour and a half, 2 hours, it's like, especially with my computer, I have like an all-in-one computer. So it's not like designed for a lot of hard work.
Yeah. It's like a editing suite computer.
Right. And I used to have Photoshop and Premiere on here. And that just, my computer crashed every day. Like, it was just like, my computer's like, what the hell is this software? So yeah. But Neo Squirrel says only one of the legendary videos of YouTube. Yeah, we said your comment earlier. Podcasting, so no, it's not fun, especially on the iPad. Yeah, it's tough, but that's why we're gonna do this live. It's easier for me and Alex to just do it live. If we make mistakes, it's fine. We're
kind of just having fun with it.
Yeah, and I mean, we're both had like a drink during the show. Like it's kind of our relaxing.
Yeah, it's our loose, like, this is fun because, I mean, I think we do this, I do this at least because I like hanging out with you, and it's a nice time to hang out and kind of talk about comics. And
yeah, like I would say our and that's why I'm not like too I'm not like upset about someone asking a Transformer question or anything. Like, I'm not upset or anything. I just, we're going to try to work our intros into like less than 10 minutes.
Yeah, less than 10 minutes, so we're not
right. Yeah,
people.
And if we want to talk more after, we can do a lot after. But I just don't want to make the people who are coming here for the commentary to have to wait, too long to hit play on the commentary.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll get it. We'll work it out. But yeah, really, it's just two friends hanging out and talking DC. Which at the end of it all, it's nice to actually have that on this channel again. Because when I used to do DC content, no one really watched it except Tavia. Sometimes would he's another YouTuber, and he would pop in sometimes and watch. But it would just be me and him talking in the chat, and that's it. Like, and then later on when it would render, it'd be like, this has 3 views. I'm like, oh, Tavia came back and watched it again. Thank you, Tavia. So it's nice to have this and just to do something fun. So we'll have more next week. Like Alex said, we're going to watch Batman Ninja. And then the week after that, we're going to watch Deathstroke, Knights and Dragons. And then, yes, we will probably the week of the Snyder Cut. Are we going to do it all in one? Did you say you wanted to do it?
Yeah, let's do it all in one. I mean, my bathroom is super close, so I'll if I have to run to pee, it's there.
Okay. I will just pee myself because that's what I do. But I've already done it 3 times in this episode. So what we'll do though is maybe the week before the Snyder Cut, we'll watch the other version
of the Justice League. You want to do that to ourselves?
If you want. I don't know. We watched Batman and Robin together.
I mean, that's much better.
It is a much better movie.
Especially when we're going to watch the same movie just longer again.
Well, that's fine. We don't have to.
We can do whatever. I'll do anything as long as I get to do it with you.
Oh, well, we'll figure it out. Maybe we'll just watch a cool Justice League movie, animated movie, instead.
We'll figure it out.
Though, because we can always watch Justice League War, which is basically the plot of the live action movie where Darkseid comes and you get Cyborg on the team and everything.
Oh yeah, that is true. I mean, that's a good point. We could just then compare them.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you for being here. Neil Squirrel, thanks for hanging out with us, and anyone else who popped in and out, Florent and Skullman, everyone who was in here earlier that, felt like we neglected you. I'm sorry. I know normally on every other stream I do, as soon as a comment's made, I usually respond to it. And, but this isn't that kind of show. We're going to try to pace things out differently. So just bear with us. We'll get that down for sure. Awesome. And thanks for hanging out with us. And like I said, anytime Warner Brothers sends me something from DC Animated, like at the beginning of this episode, we'll spend 5 minutes talking about it. So today we had those 5 images from Justice Society. We'll try to keep that trend going as long as Alex is cool with that.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought those looked cool.
Cool. Awesome. So we'll do that. So thank you guys very much. We'll see you all next time. Peace. Bye. Goodbye.